Today, I'm gonna help you reverse engineer your dream life for 2025. This is my desktop background for 2024 and it reflects all my goals, so I look at it every single day. You can also do the same thing with your phone background. Here is an example of something somebody made for her phone background with a quote reminder, which is so cute. And this basically just means you're not just setting goals that you'll never work on, because I've developed a life tracking system to make it effortless to work towards your goals every single day. Step 0, you need to set aside 1 minute right now. Oh, I forgot to put my timer for filming YouTube video. You are going to take action immediately. No more save this video for later. Think and finish the sentence in your head. By the end of 2025, I want to have a life where I can fill in the blank here. So some examples could be spend time with loved ones, finally learn that language, or enjoy your hobbies more. So if you can't think of anything right now, just use one of my examples. Okay, now let's move on to step 1. Set a life North Star metric. Number 1, write down your values. Number 2, see what habits align with those values. And number 3, just pick one that resonates with you. You can always change this later. So for example, my values are openness, growth, and helping others. You can find your values using this personal values assessment quiz, which I'll link in the description below. And so I thought a habit of mine could be helping someone every day. It could be making content to inspire people, or just giving someone a compliment. And working from there, I figured out my life North Star metric was to positively impact other people. Number 2 is to pick a goal category to focus on. So I usually categorize my life into these categories: growth and learning, career and finance, creativities, which is like hobbies and fun stuff, health, your physical and mental health, and socials. So this is friends, family, and relationships. I think focus is so important because when you try to do too many things at once, you get overwhelmed and end up doing nothing at all. So I tend to look at it in seasons where you do something and focus on it for a few days, a few weeks, or a few months. And when that season is over, you can pick another focus. And it's important to remember that some of these categories overlap. So if you focus on your health, you feel better and your social life could get better as well. I think it's also important to remember that most things in life are temporary. So you just can really focus and full send on one thing, make progress, learn, and move on, instead of like half sending multiple things and making no progress. Here's an example of my goals template that I use for this. It's part of my life tracking course, which I'll link in the description below. But if you wanted to focus on health, for example, you can write down a brain dump of all the ideas that you have. And this brain dump is actually so helpful. Then you list your goal state, which is where you want to be at the end of the season, and share what habits would take you towards that goal state. And one thing that's super important is to list all of your to-dos, which are things that you can do right now to set up those habits. There's also a section here for reflections. So every month or quarter, you can reflect on how you're making progress towards your goals. Step number 3 is to create an ideal lifestyle mood board. Here's an example of mine. Again, it's part of my life tracking course. I had so much fun making this template. I pulled pictures from Pinterest or Google and put them in categories for my life. You can also use my templates to create a desktop background and a phone background so that you look at it every day and it inspires you to continue to take action towards your goals. Now, step number 4 is to create daily habits. So I usually have a Google form with a metric that's aligned with my goal. So for me, that was giving somebody a genuine compliment, and I tend to check it daily. I like using Google form because you can easily make it into charts and stuff, and it's just so simple to fill out every day. So here you can just see a spreadsheet of all of my data. Now, step number 5 is to create weekly habits. So at the end of every week, I do a reflection in my Notion where I just answer questions about what my wins were this week and things that I learned. So it is part of this reflections template, and under the weekly reflection example, here you can see what gave me energy, what drained energy, what I should say no to, and things like that. And I reflect on all of my weekly reflections every quarter. And when I noticed that I was doing a lot of things that drain energy, I try to figure out how I can minimize that. Like, I think one time I noticed that hanging out with my ex-boyfriend kept draining my energy for some reason, so I broke up with him. But anyway, step number 6 is to create monthly milestones. So when you look at all of your weekly reflections, take all of your proudest wins and put it in monthly milestones. I have a template for that as well. There's also a bunch of reflection questions, and you can just fill this out. Set a calendar reminder for yourself and make sure you fill this out, because I think doing this kind of puts you in the right headspace to be motivated to see if you're on track for your goals and continue to work towards them. I also love doing my monthly photo boards. This was my monthly photo board for September 2024, and the month just passed by so fast because I'm traveling. But when I made this, I was like, wow, I actually had a lot of good memories. And this was my monthly photo board for September 2023. It was like a year ago, right? So I was like, I don't even know what I did. But when I look at this, I'm like, wow, I actually accomplished so much. I'm so proud of myself. I had such good memories. When I look through my life in years, the years go by so fast. But when I slow down and reflect using these pictures, it makes me feel so much more grateful and helps me see that growth, which motivates me to work towards my goals. Now, step 7, create quarterly and yearly check-ins. So here are the reflection questions I have made for you for that. It's part of my template for my life tracking course. So if you sign up for the course, you will get access to all of these templates and way more here. There's so much. It's kind of like a Notion tutorial course and a life tracking course. Oh, and what's so cool about this template is that you press a button and it just makes an entry for you. And then you can see it on your calendar, and it's just so satisfying to see it all filled out on your calendar. Okay, so hopefully you can see by now my systems are basically just a lot of reflections regularly. First, you set your goals and you turn them into habits. Then you just regularly reflect on those habits to make sure you're on track, because I think the act of reflecting keeps it on your mind and you're constantly reminded to work on it, which leads to success. I remember a few years ago in like 2022, I wanted to start my own business. I didn't know if it was supposed to be in blogging or like content creation, but I didn't post anything. I posted on my personal account. I was doing marathon training stuff and I posted a vlog every day. It got no views, but I got really good at video editing really fast. So when I started posting seriously and scheduling my content, I ended up going viral, and now I made a course and built a whole business around it. But it took a few years just to like get into that mindset, make sure I understand what my goals are, create a whole vision board on it, and incorporate it into my daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly routines for this to happen. So now I'm sharing my systems with you, and hopefully you can get the same benefits. If you need more support with setting up your systems and reaching your 2025 goals, check out my life tracking course. The link is in the description. I always feel so happy because, like I said, my life North Star metric is positively impacting other people, and the stuff that my students post in the community sharing how it's changing their lives is just so nice. I cry every time I read it because I'm emotional like that. The special thing about the course is that you can check off the little action items, and people love that it's bite-sized because they love checking off each action item after watching like a 5-minute video, because the ding sound is so satisfying. It's very ADHD friendly, gamified with the community, but you can experience it for yourself. So I hope to see you in the course soon. In the meantime, I will see you next week for my next video. Bye.